Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Force here, and today we will be spotlighting Trump's Control Rogue deck. This is the deck that he used to take first place in the most recent Streamer Tournament. It's a very solid control deck with a lot of versatility. It can be super aggressive early on, or it can just sit back and try to control the board. It's got some removal through spells like Blade Fury and Assassinate, direct damage from Eviscerate and Backstab, and then some potentially major threats from the Twilight Drake and Bloodsail Raider. Now with the general premise out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck in action. So I spent some time this afternoon actually speaking with Trump, sort of about his performance at the event, but also just talking with him about the deck. And actually this is a rather interesting hand. Thematically, it works very well in and of itself. I don't know that this is necessarily the best hand to keep as is. I think I'm still gonna take it though. We're gonna go ahead and confirm it. So we're gonna be able to be really aggressive here. Our first turn, we're gonna be dropping down a Defias Ringleader with the coin, which will trigger the combo to get us both those creatures in play. Now the turn after, he will be able to ping off our smaller of the two creatures, but he's going to be able to do that regardless anytime that this comes out. So getting it out right now and at least being able to hit for 2, and then forcing him to use his turn to do damage to hit this isn't going to be the worst of ideas. So we've got some really good thematic things here. We've got the Assassin's Blade weapon, which is going to work well with the Bloodsail Raider, as well as the Dread Corsair, both of those. This one getting bigger from the weapon that you have, and this one costing less from the weapon that you have. We also have the Blade Fury, some nice mass removal, and this card in particular is actually something that Trump threw in to deal with the Miracle Rogue deck, essentially those stealth creatures that can kill you in one turn and you have no way of directly targeting them, so having that mass damage to deal with them is part of the reason. Plus it's just an amazing card all around, especially coupled with big things like the Assassin's Blade here. So we're gonna go ahead and ready up, and I'm actually not gonna swing. I don't wanna use this durability yet. We're gonna wait until I can pump it up and then use it. And then we'll kind of take it from there. He's gonna drop an Arcane Missiles. Hopefully it doesn't kill our creature outright. No, we're gonna take some damage from it, and that is okay. We do not mind taking a little bit of damage. Really not that big of a deal. The biggest thing is keeping our creatures in play, and then subsequently trying to deal with his creatures. So he has just placed down this 2/3. Now, we have some things that we could do. You know, I could just drop this down this turn. We can backstab and then swing that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Dread Corsair. It's a nice taunt creature. It's a 3/3 taunt. It costs 1 less for each attack on the weapon. And then I'm also gonna go with the backstab. Swing that to finish him off. I'll take that damage, keeping my creature alive and hitting him for 2. Now next turn we could potentially pump up the Wicked Knife and drop this down, which would make it a 4/3, or we could wait until the Assassin's Blade is in play and then drop that down when this is a 4/4 through a pump up from that. And I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna keep this for a little bit of a later game play. He's got a 1/2 on the board right now, not a big deal yet because he still is forced to attack into my Dread Corsair. Unless he's got a polymorph to deal with that. So next turn, actually, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. We might just weapon up and then swing him directly. Because I'm not too concerned about the 1/2. He's going to Fire Blast that. He can't do anything else, so it looks like he just plans to finish that off next turn, essentially. Okay, so decisions. We also drew into the Eviscerate, although it's nothing that we need to play right away. The Blade Fury, this is not the best time to use it. Definitely want to probably use it with the Assassin's Blade pumped up from the Dagger Mastery. And again, that Raider we kind of want to hold on to as well. So really, besides attacking, there's nothing that I'm looking to do this turn. We're just going to sit on our hand. And I'm going to go straight for him. Just hit him with this. Now, if I was playing a deck that had a lot of creature pump up, I would have removed the creature that he had in play. But the Mage deck doesn't really have a lot of that, but when you're playing against, like, for example, the Hunter deck or the Druid deck, there's a lot of cards that will pump up other creatures, and that's a cause for concern. Alright, so he's going to go with a straight up, actually he didn't trade that, he finished that off. He used his charge creature to get rid of my taunt, and then that is that. So here we go, this is going to start looking really good. So we're going to go with the Assassin's Blade this turn. And I'm not going to attack with it until I have a Deadly Poison on it. And next turn I'm going to be able to Deadly Poison, Dagger Mastery, plus drop the Bloodsail Corsair, and I'm going to want to finish him off since he's only got 3 toughness. So that's what we will end up doing. I can get rid of him. I guess with the Eviscerate, it would sort of be a waste. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 attack on the Assassin's Blade. So yes, using the weapon synergy with the things like the Bloodsail Raider, as well as the Corsair, which we lost. There it is, the Dread Corsair. All right, so he's got actually a bunch of creatures in play. This kind of sucks right now. Now would be a perfect time to pump my Assassin's Blade with the Blade Fury, but I also have 4 swings on the Assassin's Blade, so I don't necessarily want to get rid of it yet. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll Deadly Poison the Blade. We will pump up the Blade. We will drop the Raider. And then I'm just going to hit this. Actually, you know what? Well, yeah, he's still going to be able to kill this next turn. So the Raider was actually probably not the best play. I'm going to hit him for 6, though. Even if I killed that Raid Leader, he's got 1, 2, 3 damage to kill this turn. So that wouldn't have mattered. So I figured I just wanted to get the 6 damage on him. He is only at 13. And we're going to be able to do another 6 next turn, which will bring him down to 7, and then I can pop this, and if we hit him for 1, if he doesn't kill this, we win next turn. Okay, we win next turn. That wasn't the perfect play. I shouldn't have dropped him in play, as I did, but that's sort of what happened. We do have the win here, though. So this is going to be 6.
Here we go.
Bringing him down to 7, bringing him down to 6, and then doing the Blade Fury. Destroy my weapon and do damage. 6 damage to everything, including him. And there's the win. So, a pretty good example of Trump's control rogue deck. Let's go ahead and wrap things up by taking a look at the deck list and talking a little bit about its strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so you saw me in the last game. I did play quite aggressively, but that was primarily just due to my opening hand. Going second, having the Defias Ringleader, allowing me to drop that in play immediately, is the reason I decided to approach that game the way that I did. However, as we mentioned at the start, this deck can very much so be control focused, sitting back, picking off creatures, and just trying to, get card advantage, dominate the board, and slowly chip away at your opponent. So let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the deck list. Starting off with a Backstab here, dealing 2 damage to an enemy minion. That's great in and of itself, but also because it's a 0 cast, it's really great for triggering combos. Deadly Poison to pump up your weapons, this plus the weapons in the deck, or your innate weapon, and then the creatures that synergize off of that, such as the Bloodsail Raider and the Dread Corsair, can be incredibly effective. I mean, you saw last game I had an Assassin's Blade, that's a 3/4, making it with a Deadly Poison a 5/4, and then plus the Dagger Mastery +1, making it a 6/4. You drop a Bloodsail Raider off of that, you're looking at an 8/3. Obviously, you can get the Dread Corsair. Anything above 3, it's gonna cost 1 to play. 4 weapon makes it cost 0 to play. So you're dropping a 3/3 taunt and play for free at that point. Incredibly effective, again, with that synergy of those creatures. We've got the Shiv for 1 damage, plus the card draw. Also keep in mind, all of our damage will get pumped up by the Azure Drake if we have it in play. But the great thing about this, you get a card, you can pick off a small creature, or it's just the fact that you can trigger a combo for just a 1 casting cost, quite simply, just like the Backstab and the Deadly Poison. Blade Fury, mass removal. Trump told me that he put this in the deck specifically so that he could deal with the Miracle Rogue deck. And you know what? Even though that's true, because the way the Miracle Rogue deck is, it's got these huge creatures in play that can kill you in 1 turn, but you can't target them because of stealth. Blade Fury deals with that because it's mass damage. But also, I mean, you saw me last game, Deadly Poison, plus the Assassin's Blade with a Dagger Mastery, it did 6 damage to everything my opponent controlled. That's going to be great against any deck with creatures in it, basically, and that's most decks here in Hearthstone. Got the Eviscerate for 2 damage, comboed for 4, the Bloodsail Raider pumped up off of your weapon attack, the Defias Ringleader, potentially a first turn for you if you're going second, coin, Ringleader, you've got a 2-3 and a 2-1 in play. The only opponents that can deal with that easily are like the Druid, because they can attack for 1 damage, or the Mage that can ping for 1 damage. Anyone who can basically deal 1 damage on their second turn can deal with your 2-1, but any of the other heroes have a very hard time against this because it's a potential 4 damage swing on the next turn, plus if you decide to attack with your weapon. Perdition's Blade is nice. It's just a 2-2. Obviously not quite as strong as the Assassin's Blade, but the great thing about the Perdition's Blade is you can use this to pick off small creatures with a 1 damage comboed 2 damage. Fan of Knives for mass damage plus card draw. The Dread Corsair, a nice 3/3 taunt creature that costs 1 less for each attack on your weapon. The Twilight Drake. If you open up with this card, especially if you're going second, you sit on your hand, turn 4, you drop the Twilight Drake in play, you're looking at a 9/9 at that point. That's a very, very threatening turn 4 play, especially if you can eliminate their taunters and then push that damage through the next turn. Assassin's Blade, it's a great weapon, 3 damage, 4 durability, you pump that up with the Deadly Poison, Dagger Mastery, you're looking at 6 damage for each swing. Assassinate for direct creature removal. Abomination, Trump told me he put this in the deck specifically to deal with a lot of those aggro decks that are out there right now. We're talking about Beast, we're talking about Murlocs, any of the decks that are trying to overwhelm you with creatures early on in the game. Abomination is fantastic. It's got taunt, it's a 4/4. When it dies, 2 damage is going to all characters, and then you've got things like the Fan of Knives and the Blade Fury if you need to do any more mass damage beyond that. The Azure Drake spell power is going to pump up all of your damage spells that you've got here, plus you get to draw a card when it drops into play. And then lastly, the Captain Greenskin just makes perfect sense in a rogue deck, especially one of this nature that can either play aggressive or look in the long term. Captain Greenskin, you're drawing a card whenever your hero attacks. Being a rogue, you can attack every turn if you so desire, so that's a lot of potential card advantage. All right, guys, so that's a look at the deck list here. Once again, this is Trump's Control rogue deck that he used to win the most recent Beta Streamer Tournament. Very strong, very versatile, and I like it quite a bunch. All right, let's go ahead and follow this up with a Taking the Deck Through Its Paces video. Stay tuned for that if you'd like to see more Trump Control gameplay. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.